Leads. Every single business we've ever worked with needs leads. Every business that you know needs leads, right? So now you got them. Let's say you went and bought out leads. You talked to three different lead vendors. You bought some leads. You got your sphere of influence. You've got your social media. Maybe you're running Facebook ads, and all of those leads are going into your CRM. Now you've got a whole mess of leads all everywhere, right? And everybody says the same thing. They're either good leads or they're bad leads. Well, guess what? They're not all good and they're not all bad. Just because someone didn't buy the first time doesn't mean that it's a bad lead. There's gold in them there hills, ladies and gentlemen. And today we're going to show you how to take your database full of leads and score them with lead scoring on Go High Level. Brian, take it away, bud.
Absolutely. So, you guys, today's going to be a fun video because we're going to show you how to identify which leads in your pipeline are ready to move to the next stage. And we're going to show you how to do it automatically inside Go High Level. Now, we all know that you're going to have these safety nets running right when you first have that lead enter your database. You're going to have text messages, you're going to have emails, you're going to have the system pre-generate calls so that you can reach out to them as quickly as humanly possible because we all know that speed to lead is one of the most important pieces to the puzzle when it comes to converting a prospect. But not every single one of those leads is going to be ready to answer the phone today. Not every single one of those leads is going to be ready to give you their credit card or sign on the line that's dotted today. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to share my screen and we'll show you exactly how this works. Now, once you get into settings inside of your account, you're going to find manage scoring in the settings menu on the left side of the screen. So settings first, scroll down, find manage scoring. Now you're going to see that there's going to be a handful of engagements that are already here and set up for you. So if somebody opens an email, it's going to add an engagement point. If an appointment status is confirmed, it's going to add 1 point. If the contact has replied and has a specific tag, it will add 1 point. And if the contact booked an appointment in a calendar, it's going to add a point. Now, with each one of these, you can go ahead and you can edit them, you can modify them, and you can change the point scoring system that you want in them. So the first thing that I'm going to do is we have a placeholder here. This tag does not exist in our CRM. This is just a placeholder tag that Go High Level plugs in because, hey, you got to put a tag in and they won't let it enter with nothing there. So they put a little placeholder in. So all you need to do is go in and update your initial tag. Now, this could be your replied tag. So if the lead replied to a contact, I have an automation that's set that automatically adds a tag for replied so that we can move a lead to a certain bucket in a pipeline stage and we can easily see who we need to respond to in a timely fashion. Now, when we go ahead and add that in, it will update our tag here. And what I would do is just remove this one. So I'm actually going to refresh really fast and see if it just removed that one because I did edit it. Weird. So I'm going to delete this one that has the point for the tag that's a non-existent. So if you see that, it still stays there. Just go back and delete it so you don't have some random point that gets fired for something. But you always have the ability to add new rules. So you can go in here and you can select email events. So if they've opened emails or they responded, or if they put you in D&D, you can remove points or add points, all those kinds of things, right? Now, if you've added specific tags, payments ever received, if they've submitted a form, right? This is a big one. So if they've gone through and they've submitted a specific form, and I know that form has a lot of information that we're gathering on it, like for example, one of our life insurance coverage request forms, we want to add a couple more points to them. So maybe we'll add 5 points instead of one because they filled out a lengthy form and they're showing a little bit more intent, you guys. Now, the best way to work this is to have the system run on an ongoing basis where it's going to continuously add points for different actions. And then what you can do on the back end of this is you can leverage workflows to go ahead and launch notifications to yourself or your team to let you know when that lead is warmed up. So what I'll typically do is I'm going to go in here like I'm going to start from scratch and build this out. And I'm going to say contact scoring reaches 10, right? If they've opened 10 emails, if they've responded to a handful of text messages, if they've gotten at least 10 points, that means they are engaging with what we're sending them and what we're getting out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with a trigger on here and we're going to go to add a trigger. And I'm just going to start to type in score and you can see contact engagement score right here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the score greater than or equal to, and I'm going to say 10. So score, and then we have the drop down to select, and then 10. So I'm doing greater than or equal to. Of course, you can see equal to, greater than, equal to, empty, not empty, less than or equal to, or not equal to, right? So you can segment your audiences out based on their engagement so you can see who's engaging and who isn't. Now, once I've gone ahead and I've added that score, so once a lead reaches 10, it's going to go ahead and run through this automation. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and send an internal notification. So I'm going to send this as an app notification. And I do that because I don't want to incur SMS costs or email costs with the system. I just want to ping the mobile app. So for here, I'm going to say, instead of new contact, I'm going to say contact name here. That way it's different for every contact that comes through. Lead score 10, right? Simple as that. Now in this message, I'm simply going to go ahead and plug in the contact full name. I'm going to go ahead and plug in their email. I'm going to plug in their phone number. And then I'm just going to put a message: contacts lead score has reached 10 or more. And then down here, all I'm going to do is set my redirect page to the contact itself. Now, when I come back to the contact, I'm going to be able to see what it was that actually got that lead score to increase. So I can see what emails they opened, the activity on their activity line, all of those kinds of things. So now I have something to talk to them about when I give them a call. Now, the next step here is to determine which users you want to assign this to. So you would say either all users or a particular user. I'm just going to say all users for time, but you can select individual ones if you want. And then also, if you have followers on your contacts, let's say you have multiple team members that are following those contacts, you can notify them as well. I'm just going to go ahead and save that action. The next thing that I would personally do is I would set this up for a call. I'm not going to do a manual call because the manual call is going to put that lead into a queue where I have to log into the queue, push let's start, and start that dial. What I'm going to set up is a call. And what GoHighLevel is going to do in this instance is it's going to send me the notification. So I'm going to see the info that's going to pop up on my phone. And then right after that info pops up on my phone, I'm going to get the call, right? So GoHighLevel is going to call me. I'm going to pick up the phone and it's going to say whatever call whisper message you put in here. So I would go ahead and I would plug in the contact name has just reached a contact score of 10 or greater. Press any key to connect. Now I can go ahead and I can save this. And what's going to happen is the system's going to call me. It's going to read off this message that says Josh Paradin has just reached a contact score of 10 or greater. Press any key to connect. So now I can start my conversation right then and there and start that call. If Josh picks up, I'm live on the phone with Josh, ready to chat with him about any of his needs with my products or my services and my offerings. Now, you guys, of course, you can take this any step beyond that call, because with actions inside of GoHighLevel's automations, there's really a limitless opportunity for what you can do here. I mean, you can update any kind of information on the contact record, as you can see here. You can validate emails, phones, all of those kinds of things. You can go ahead and plug in custom objects so that you can create like a household and plug multiple people together. So for example, if you have selling a policy to a family and you have a husband, wife, beneficiaries, you can attach everybody to that object of that policy so that now you have all of these leads that are tied together, and you can do that in one automation, right? You also have all of the communication stack that you can send out. So your text messages, your emails, your calls, your voicemails, the slide dials, messages on Facebook or Instagram, all of those kinds of things so that you can communicate directly with that prospect. You can also even turn on like an AI bot right now so that it can spark up that conversation and get something rolling, because we can see that they're showing the intent that they're interested in working with you. You can also webhook that data and info out anywhere else, or do a number of these internal tasks like math operations or formatting dates, all of that good stuff. So I'm getting off subject here because I'm trying to show you guys how all of the crazy tools that you have access to here inside of workflows, beyond just giving you a notification or having you call that client. But one thing that I highly implore everyone to do is to take the time, go into your settings, go to manage scoring, and start adding points for specific actions that your audience takes. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell so that you can stay on top of our next video. With that, I'm going to kick it back to you, Josh.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite underutilized tools in Go High Level. And I know that like looking at the system in that way, it's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But in my realm, from my side, like speaking in just a plain English, one of my favorite things to do is to go in and look at like a month ago or 2 month ago's leads from another one of our reps at Top Agent near me. And I can see, oh, they're not getting contacted. They kind of fell off with whoever their rep was, whoever they were talking to. And then I can go in there, I can listen to the phone call, I can check the notes, anything like that. And then I can go, oh, well, they were just weren't ready to buy then. And boom, I give them a call. Hey, man, it's like having a warm lead right there because you've already got all the information. You already heard how they act on the phone. You've already heard what their wants, needs, pain points are. You've got all the information right there. It's almost like they called you. Whoever was talking to them just didn't close the deal that day. And so we've pretty much drummed up probably a good 5 to 10 extra deals just going back and looking at the other ones. Now, another strong way to utilize that tool is to look at that and do the same thing where you go and you check the notes, listen to the call maybe, and you go, hey, I get why that person didn't buy from, say, me, from Josh. And I can go, hey, you know what? Hey, Antonio, this is more your style of a person. They're more laid back. They're more, whatever it is. I think you'd resonate with them a lot more. Why don't you give them a call and that'll be your client now? You're going to be their rep. See if you can get them to take that next step because whatever I did wasn't doing it. And you can do that for your whole team. I think it's really, really an underutilized tool in here and it's pretty simple to set up. So again, if you guys are looking at getting Go High Level, make sure you use our link in the description. You're going to get some 50% off stuff. You're going to get 30 days of boot camp. You're going to get hundreds of snapshots from us. And all we're asking you to do is if you got it, use our link. Go upgrade your package, get that pro plan, man. It's time to go. It's that summer of AI. Let's get some business going and close some deals. And with that said, thanks for stopping by, America.